Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 399 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm one of your hosts, Amy Kate Alexander. I'm joined this week by the motorcycle rider himself, Mr. Daffyd Moody.
Howdly doodly do, everybody. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game day, and I hope you have a fabulous video game weekend.
And we're also joined by the unluckiest internet shopper on the planet. It's Mr. Vitz Patel.
This is true. What's good, gamers? How are we all doing today? This week has been a week.
Especially
I didn't get your clothes, Vitz, just so you know. I didn't get that.
Well, I appreciate you
didn't
checking
turn
out
up on mine.
My theory was wrong.
Aye.
The theory was wrong.
I was believing it though.
Getting ready to storm Moody's house.
Yeah. For anybody who works with or associated with DPD, y'all can go suck an egg.
He's been polite there.
Yes. You should have seen what he was saying in Discord. Holy shit. I mean, I was egging him
Phoebe
on.
Saga again. All you hear was beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
But we all know what she was saying.
I'm hoping you just lit a candle there, Moody. Otherwise, I've got some bad news for
I did.
you.
I won't lie. Like, I did, but I did. I lit a candle. But also, it's kind of like the sparks went towards me, and I was like, decided to kill myself on podcast today. I still expect this to go out.
I'm pretty sure that's
Even
against
if I
TOS.
die burning alive right now.
I don't think I can put that on YouTube.
Yeah, that's it. That goes against TOS for
There's
sure.
many places you can put it on. They'll accept it. They'll be fine.
Are we moving over to Kick? Is that what we're doing?
I don't think we've got the right vibe for Kick.
Yeah, me neither.
I spent at least 30 minutes today laughing at terrible Gamergate songs. I don't think we're in the right market.
There is some evidence to support that, yeah.
How's everybody doing today?
We're doing okay, all
week?
things considered. The Discovery continues to kill it, as does X-Men 97. So yeah, think things could be worse. They could be a lot worse than they are.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm overall okay. Wasn't feeling too great today, but yeah, overall, yeah, just crack on basically.
Is this the hangover
Ooh.
from your 2-year anniversary party?
This is it.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's still hungover.
It just
Big
took a week to kick in.
It's a big weekend.
I did finally get round to watching Dune Part 2. So that was the thing that happened. It was good, but I don't get all the hype. But I think I understand why. Obviously, like Dune is credited to being like one of the first kind of large, huge sci-fi pieces, which goes on to inspire a lot of other things. And I'm seeing a lot of what would go on to inspire Star Wars in Dune Part 2, and because I particularly don't vibe with Star Wars, and I get that's a niche opinion. I know there's a lot of people who do kind of think. I think that is what's holding me back from finding the magic what everybody's jumping up and down for when it comes to this movie. But hey, if it's the greatest thing of all time, then more power to you.
Well, I've rented this for my partner because she was a big fan of the last one. I did not like the last one. I stand by, like, it's arguably one of the best films that year. Like, it was technically beautiful, soundtrack, everything, visually stunning, an amazing cast. I was boring as fuck, and I was bored out throughout the entire movie. I've lasted 45 minutes on part 2. Nothing fucking happens in that 45 minutes, I believe. A little bit,
like the
but
idea.
nothing of real significance, and it fucking bored me, and I was just like, I'm out, and I walked out.
I like the idea of you turn to your partner and just says, that bored the arse off me.
Bored the arse
getting
off
up and leaving.
It's still freaking 2 hours to go. I've got 2 hours left on this freaking thing, and I'm like, nothing has happened. Things happen, but nothing of significance. It's so fucking slow. It's like watching Frodo climb up Mount Mordor.
But you
At least
like
we cut away to like a B story and a C story going on.
Had all the excitement and food for the first 3 hours of that movie. I can get past the end.
3 hours. People complain about
It's
YouTube.
okay.
Extended edition.
There were 3 hours ending of that film as well.
Yeah, it was. But we had all the awesomeness before that, and I could get past it. I was just already ready. I was just like, oh man, this is so good. But yeah, it's just I don't get it. I don't. But also, like, I didn't like the first one, so I kind of knew and I had a feeling I always wasn't going to click vibe with this one either.
It's a banner.
It's, like,
it's turning into a banner, yeah, for you trying to consume sequels to things that you didn't like. Final Fantasy VII being the other one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. How? No one can't fucking say, well, did you give it a try? Yes!
Now I hate it more.
There you go.
I hate getting asked that. Did you give it a try? Nah, man. I just wanted to rant like a complete knob, like the internet is, and just say and just complain about it.
You looked at the back of the box art and made all your judgments based on that.
Exactly. I went, it's a white dude. I don't like that.
Whoa, DEI alert. Whoa.
There you
go. All in sand. Like Anakin, I don't like sand. It gets everywhere.
That's what I hear. It's coarse.
It's rough.
It's very rough. It gets everywhere. Seriously. Worms. I don't like worms. I don't like snakes. So why would I like worms and worms? So yeah, just don't like. Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
I don't know why either. Yeah, but no, yeah. Fair play to the people who enjoy it. I respect you for it, but yeah, it's just like I don't know if I can get past through those last 2 hours. 2 hours, 45 minutes took forever. I'm like,
you've got a PlayStation Portal. The PlayStation Portal was designed for this problem, Moody.
No, that problem's been solved by films. I only do when it's a film I've never seen before. I
lock in. Yeah,
I lock in to give it a go and everything like that. I gave it 45 minutes.
You gave it 45 minutes, but if Sophia still wants to watch it, you've got a PlayStation Portal.
There you go.
It's Final Fantasy 9 time, baby.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I've been loving Final Fantasy 9. So good. But yes, yeah. I don't get it. I'm review bits. I don't get it.
I haven't watched the films.
It's not a.
I haven't watched the films. The book.
There you go.
Big book. You could use it as a weapon.
That's true.
It's a hardcover.
It's a thick book. There's no doubt about that.
Thick as in thick, not thick as in thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one C and a K, not 3 C at the end of that word.
No judgment. No judgment.
No judgment, yeah. If you want to roll that bad boy up, good fucking luck.
Takes all kinds.
There you go.
And if you get paper cuts, well, you knew what you were getting.
I mean, I feel like that's just a risk you take in this scenario, right?
That is the risk you take. There's no doubt about it. Yep, no doubt about that. But yeah, how are you, anyway? I hope all's well.
Oh, I'm good. I was like last Friday. I started because I got the old consoles. We talked about this last week, and I was like, right, cool. Like it's all kind of like piled up in this corner where it's like it looked good when I did it. And then more stuff got added to it, and you just put it where there's a gap, right? You just put things where there's space. Yep. And I was like, all right, I need to reorganize this so it makes sense. Plus, also, I wanted to try and stream from it, which works, by the way.
Awesome.
But I was like, all right, let's just clear this stuff out. And it's like, all right, where am I going to put all these things? There's some stuff here that I need to move. I spent like 14 hours. I cleared this place out, man.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah, we saw. Absolutely.
There was a point.
It looked awesome.
There was a point midway through the day where someone was asking me, so how's the rearranging going? And I was stood, about here, and more or less everything I owned was on the floor around me. I was standing in the only island where I could fit myself, and I was looking around, going, "I'm gonna be honest. I think I've made a mistake here."
You said this the last time you did a reservation,
renovation,
yeah. So you've done this before, so it's like you thought I'm going to tidy it up. Boom, Moody, I did a problem.
I did a mistake. I made a mistake. Well, so like I've got like a drawers and a wardrobe thing, and there's space down the sides, and I'd been like shoving things down the side of it, where it's just like I have nowhere to put this. It's a future problem. And then on last Friday, I became Future Amy. Future Amy was me, and he was like, "Oh, let me pull all this out."
Past Amy.
Oh, let me just like, and then I was like, well, I'm in it now, right? Like, I've got all this shit. I've got like half a bag full of old like models and figurines and all this other stuff. Where I was like, I want to get rid of this. And then I was like, well, why stop there? I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
So I started opening drawers, and I was like, right, cool, this old fucking clothes and shit, right? Let's just get rid of all this, chuck it in there. I've got like a clothes bank at the bottom of my street. Yeah. I can just throw clothes and old clothes into you. So like I filled that bag up. And then I was like, well, I clean it now because I've moved stuff out. Yeah, so like, you know, I've got the sprays and the hoovers and then I was like, well, I've done this corner.
Yeah. What?
And then I just slowly rotated around the room and did everything. And like the best part is, well, yeah, it does look amazing, but the best part is it barely looks different. Like there's little changes, like the game's shelves are now in a line. Rather than offset. Like it's board games, games,
game things,
plushies, books.
Yeah. There you go.
And I was like, oh my god, I have so many books because there's even more books down there.
The other thing to shout out is that I imagine anyway everything survived in terms of everything that was taking off, like moving around. Oh no!
Oh,
we got some casualties.
No. So every time I do a renovation, and Moody will probably be able to back me up on this because he is also a proud owner of those Star Trek ships. Super fragile.
They are very fragile. Yeah.
And every time I do a room renovation, I lose at least one. Like it's the end of Star Trek Generations. Like it just hits the ground and that's it. It's done. But it's fine. I've got all the ones I really like. So I'm very, very careful with those.
And they're on fine display as well. So
yeah,
nice work.
They are. You can't see them because they're too high. But you know, hey, whatever. I just need to get some lights to like light up all of the shelves instead of just those.
Yeah.
Three. I'm going to get some strip lights. They're really cheap. Because there's no backs on any of these. So I can just put the lights behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you can see all of the stuff. I'm not going to lie. Totoro is just lit up enough to be super creepy.
Yeah, we can see the belly and the teeth. That's
like the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah,
it's kind of creepy if you think about it.
Well, I think I've already told the story on the podcast. It's like you just wait until you wake up in the middle of the night, roll over, and see that staring at you. I'm used to it now, though. It's fine.
I still stand by the fact that Catbus is the hero of that story, not Totoro.
But yeah, I also bought a memory card for my GameCube, and I realized I put the box. You can actually see the box behind the question mark. Like, I can't bend my arm that way.
Oh, like, yeah, we see it.
Had a bun. They didn't format it. It was full.
What it says. Awesome.
I was judging this random stranger's like GameCube games played, and I was like, really? You really like James Bond? But yeah, that was.
I had one good game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it's kind of junky now.
It's had a lot of games. It's one good game, but there were a lot of James Bond games. I even played a couple of them when I was a kid.
I only played one. I
remember playing Everything or Nothing on the PS2, and that was a hell of a game. It was an original one, so like not just based off a movie or something. So, and yeah, it was awesome.
Oh wow! I played Tomorrow Never Dies on PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
and it was.
I think I played Nightfall on PC, and I think, yeah, that was fun. But I remember reviewing Tomorrow Never Dies for a business studies class because they were like, "Oh, write a report on a product." And I was like, "Well, this is a product. Let's go for it." Kind of thing. So we did that. But yeah, we've only played a few James Bond games.
Yeah, that's fair. it's one of those things. It's like I'm taking Moody's idea to the next step. He plays sequels to games, or like he tries sequels to things he didn't like. I play video game adaptations of things I don't like. Apparently,
yeah. There you go.
I'm not a fan of James Bond, but I've played a lot of James Bond games.
Yeah,
that GoldenEye game really like throws the curve off. Well, that one was good.
It's going to be interesting when we get, what is it, 101s? Is it IOIs?
Yeah, that seems like it'd be cool. I like IOI, though. Like,
I'm surprised we don't see that this year. I don't know why. We'll see we'll see it when we get to see, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, how long does it take to make Fable? I mean, I'm not... I'm not expecting this on this current console generation, if I'm being completely honest with you.
And people were talking like Perfect Dark's going to make an appearance this year. It's like, no, it had to go. The development had to restart from scratch again, and they made an admission that the trailer that they did for whatever reveal it was way ahead of whatever build they had at the time, and then they restarted from that. It's like, you're talking crazy.
Quadruple A game development. What are you going to do?
Hey, these are the dominoes of Xbox first party, which is going to start falling at some point.
Any minute now. Any minute now.
There you go. Any quarter now. Any quarter now.
We're going to start getting those games, Vince. It's going to happen eventually.
There you go.
Just save them all up and release them all at once.
Yeah. I'm sure they won't cannibalize each other. It's all good.
No, never happens. Games don't cannibalize each other. Remember when they released Titanfall 2 on the same time they released Battlefield and Call of Duty? That was fine.
Yeah, none of them were sent out to die. Not once. Not once.
Not once. Never happened. Yeah, we're all like, oh, it's a different market. It's a different player base. And you know, obviously, because this first person shooter had robots in it. Completely different.
Yeah.
To Call of Duty and Battlefield. Which didn't have robots in them. It's the key distinction. And now that Moody's returned again, we can move on.
Yep. People won't stop disturbing me. I'm like, go away, people. Dog, strangle it.
Vitz, do the thing. Vitz, do the thing. Moody might have murdered an animal. Quick, talk about charity.
Yes, so we here at the Words About Games podcast, we're doing a fundraiser for the wonderful folks over at Special Effect. So they are a charity which helps players and children who have some form of disability in able to enjoy video games, whether that be through adapting various video games or going through and giving these people training us how to get the most out of their video games, because video games are supposed to be for everybody and that shouldn't exclude anybody. And while we are currently able, as I think the term is to say in terms of those without disabilities at the moment, that we want to do everything we can. So we have organized a set of 6 charity streams along a milestone goal. So we're aiming to raise £300 in total, and for every £50 milestone that we hit, you're going to unlock a different charity stream that we're going to do. So we have a list of them, and there's going to be a link to the Just Giving page on this podcast and everywhere you get this podcast, where you'll be able to read more up about them. If you need some visual clues as well, then just check out any of our socials and they'll all be on there. The first milestone that we're working towards is we rank Resident Evil. And it's not just games, it's anything, and including some things which aren't actually Resident Evil. So we've got some fun and chaotic streams coming up. So we hope that you come along and support us and raise some money for some wonderful people.
Yeah, we're almost halfway to me talking about Resident Evil for way too long.
Yeah. It's going to be fun times.
Very fun times. Good job on that, Vince. I realized when we did the last stream that you're better at doing that kind of thing than me, so I just let you do it.
I know, you're very welcome.
I'm playing to our strengths as a team. It's much better. He does a much better pitch than I do.
I do not disagree.
Yeah. Well, next week you can do the pitch and we can compare and contrast.
No. Do you remember when I tried to do the outro for Moody?
Yes, it was that.
You're
people, and you do things, and sometimes you're awesome, and sometimes you're even more awesome.
Punch this guy in the face. I don't know.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it
When
helps
life
to
gives you
write things
lemons, make a grenade out of those lemons. I don't want your damn lemonade. What am I supposed to do with this?
down. All right, it's Portal 2. You're yeah, it does help to write things down, really. But you've all seen my video essays. Short, concise. What are these?
Never
things?
heard of her. Exactly.
I don't know what these concepts are. All right. Before Mooney goes and tries to kill any more animals, let's get into the video game podcast.
I swear my dog is alive.
Where do we want to start? There's nothing like, hey, look at this big thing next to all these little things this week.
Let's go to the dumbest of dumbs. But
again, you're going to have to narrow that one down.
Former Blizzard boss reckons you should be able to tip developers another $10 to $20 on top of a $70 game.
Oh, yeah, Mike Ibarra. Yeah, coming out with some tall fucking gold. Former president of Blizzard.
Mike Ibarra.
Former president of Blizzard, you know, that company that was famous for those game franchises and one of the most toxic workplaces in video games.
Yes.
Don't know if we should be taking his advice, but yeah, he was on Twitter last week. He was all like coming up with his, because you know CEOs, they're ideas guys. They come up with ideas. They just throw the ideas out there, and they're always gold. Apparently, so I keep getting told anyway. And he was like, "Hey, I wish I could tip game developers an extra $10 or $20." And what he means by developers is game studios, specifically AAA game studios. Like all of his examples: Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Do you want me to read out this full thing?
No. I mean, if you want, I wasn't going to. But...
So this, I think it's just better for context. That's all for the listeners who might have not have seen the tweet and everything, because I didn't see the tweet until the articles all came up and everything about it and whatnot. So because obviously I'm not on Twitter anymore. So he said, I thought about this for a while as a player since I have been diving into single player games lately. When I beat a game, there are some that just leave me in awe to how amazing the experience was at the end of the game. I've often thought, I wish I could give these folks another $10, $20 because it was worth more than the initial $70, and they didn't try to nickel and dime me every second.
Unlike you, Mike.
Games like like games like Horizon, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, etc. I know $70 is already a lot, but it is an option at the end of the game I wish I had at the times. Some games are that special. I know most will dislike this idea. I realize we are tired of tipping in anything else these days, but I view this differently from the pressures of a tip type scenario when he face and give feedback on. That is the tweet for everybody out there for it. So,
I love the. I know most people are going to disagree. It's like, yes, Mike, because it's fucking stupid.
So
also, it's nice to have so much money, being a former president of Blizzard, to have that spare capital. You're not doing anything with it. You've got the millions of dollars in the bank, and you just think, you know what, I can just throw money at these companies. Just the big ones, though. The big ones where I can support my fellow CEOs out.
Gotta help those fellow CEOs, man. Like when I bought Baldur's Gate 3, it wiped me out for the month. I couldn't give them any extra money if I wanted to.
It was either food or
tip one of those Larian Studios, I guess.
Yeah, I think the point that we're going to get to, I imagine at some point, is that, you know, if we had studios and where they are correctly set up, where the people working for them, so developers and QA testers and marketing and all the other departments, they are paid properly and treated correctly, then we would get better products where we wouldn't have this situation where developers are having to, you know, have side hustles and all the rest of it to make rent each month, where they'd have the means in order to support themselves and fulfill their lives creatively and all the rest of it, rather than we have clowns like this saying, oh, I wish I can give more people more money, but I'm in a very privileged position and I only want to give it to the big companies. No mention of like, yeah, exactly. Why don't you pay some taxes first, motherfucker?
Why don't you stop nickel and diming people, dickhead?
Yeah, that too.
Sorry, Moody, you were going to say something and we cut you off and went on a journey together.
No, that's absolutely fine. So I don't know this man whatsoever. We all know about the reputation of what the studio, what Bethesda was under his watch and everything. For what we've reported on. Bethesda, sorry, yeah, Blizzard. My apologies, Bethesda. My apologies there. You weren't that. You're not that good either, Bethesda. Sorry. Either way, yes. I've took this. I think a thing that sums up my words, and I think arguably the words of most of the developers out there, from a gentleman called Noble Smith. I saw this on LinkedIn and everything like that. So he's quoted this. But the former president of Blizzard recently suggested that game devs should be able to receive tips, i.e., gratuities, from gamers as a show of appreciation for their work and for exceptional titles. Ybarra's suggestion is absolutely ridiculous. If his idea is to implement and was implemented and the gamers actually started paying devs tips, in greedy corporations would begin reducing devs' salaries to offset the tips. In all, we need to unionize and get residuals for games that we have worked on and everything, like members from the SAG after received residuals, etc., etc. And yeah, I think he's pretty much spot on here when it comes to this. One more other thing he also actually put was that Ibarra spent 22 years at Microsoft before going to Blizzard.
Yes, he did.
Xbox does not pay its first-party developers, publishing devs royalties either. I once asked Matt. I just want to read his name. Noble Smith said. I once asked Matt Booty, an Xbox president of studio and content, in an Xbox company meeting, if we would receive royalties for games that we have worked on Xbox. His reply was, no, because we were incentivized to and rewarded with stock options, but that happens when you're let go from the company. Blah blah blah.
I've heard that story.
So yeah. So yes. This is, I've seen like some places out there so this is like poor choice of words and naive. No, it's just ridiculous and stupid. All right, people, let's just stop with it. This guy is an incredibly wealthy person who has resided over an incredibly toxic culture at his last place he worked of. And he's now just living off the benefits of what he got from this and everything. And him coming out to say stupid things like this is just absolutely idiotic. Personally, I think it's just like like the poster just said, like the studios would look to reduce wages to offset the tips and everything. Basically, just like what is in hospitality in general, basically.
And then keep the tips.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah, that's the thing about it. They would reduce wage and somehow make sure that the CEOs and the board members and all like that would get those tips and everything like that. And it would just be abhorrent and everything. I understand where he comes from to a certain point where he wants to. He loves the games he's talking about and everything like that. He wants to reward it even more and whatnot. That's a great incentive to go out there. Like we, on multiple occasions on every episode, we're talking about games that we love, and we're shouting them out every time and whatnot. We've said on many occasions on certain games that have just hit us in the feels and give us the appreciation that we really loved it, that we would be happy even to spend more on that game easily, even if they came out and said that's £100. Yes, that's deserving because it's a fantastic game. Pay that £100 type of thing. We've said this on many occasions. It's just when it comes from a person who we know this person is, it literally falls on deaf ears and everything, and it's just
I wish it fell on deaf ears, because then I wouldn't have had to hear it.
That's true.
No. Yeah, it's just it's idiotic. It's incompetent. It just shows the type of person he is still to this day. He's just idiotic and he's incompetent. At the end of the day, like you said, Fitz, go off on your millions and just piss off. Okay, just stay out of the industry. You're not needed and not wanted anymore.
Go away. Leave us alone.
Yeah, stop giving stupid ideas out there.
Well, here's the thing, right? Social media has done a lot in the past, 20 years. Good and bad. And one of the things I think it's done that I think we're only really starting to appreciate in the last sort of couple of years is it's made everybody realize how stupid executives actually are. Because before they were behind the PR and they said something dumb, but it then got filtered through marketing and PR departments. Whereas now they just pick their phones up and they tweet and they think, "Oh, I'm a fucking genius. Oh, this is going to be great. I'm so smart." And then, there's no filtering. And we get to see just how stupid they are.
It's democratized stupidity, absolutely.
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from with that, because we're seeing people for who they really are and everything more often and whatnot, compared to what it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, etc., etc. Until it all comes out with it used to be a great reporter, and we don't have that these days and whatnot. So it's it's
man.
Yeah, I get where it comes from, wanting to celebrate more great games. I understand that side part, because the games they all rounded off there, they're all been well received and all awesome and everything, all in their unique ways. There's some I didn't click with or anything like that, but there's some there I'm just yes, he's right there. They are really great games there, and they all deserve love and whatnot. But coming out and saying all this shit is just giving it's just giving a stupid idea out there for people to try, because some idiot's going to try this.
I just thought, when you were talking there about great reporters, it's journalism as a thing is going to be one of those things we look back on in 20 years as a thing we used to have.
Yeah.
And it was
I'm
really
thinking
nice.
about it now. We used to have it then. Now it's not. It's not existent now.
Someone's gonna in 20 years. Someone's gonna watch Spotlight and be like, "Huh, this is such an alien concept to me. These people in this job doing this thing,
Yeah, all we have is propaganda now, but we don't recognize it as such.
Fucking. Well, it just clicked because I just saw a post just before we started recording where the new CEO, I don't know if they're the new CEO or they've been around. The CEO of NPR is talking about it's not about finding the truth, it's about finding common ground. And I was just fucking that's the opposite. Of God, we're so doomed as a society.
They need the clicks. They need the clicks from both the right wing and the left wing, so they have to find common ground between them.
They have to find common ground. Yeah, sure. We're so screwed. Yeah, tips. Hey, you know what? If you want to support a game beyond the $70, buy the merch, the officially licensed merch, not the cheap knockoff shit that you get on Redbubble. The officially licensed stuff.
Unless it comes from Bethesda, then we all know that's cheap knockoff.
Bethesda's official merch is the cheap knockoff shit. So feel free to buy the cheap knockoff shit. Especially if it's a bag.
Speaking of Bethesda, so Fallout games, they've doubled in player counts.
What could have happened?
They released a show, it's called Fallout on Prime series. It premiered last week.
It did. All the episodes
heard
came out.
The greatest thing since sliced bread and everything.
Apparently, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's revolutionized.
All of the video game adaptations are in the mud.
Apparently, again, I wouldn't. Yeah,
wouldn't know.
I saw everybody playing Fallout, and I was like, "Damn, people are finally starting to get good tasting games." And then it was no, it's because the TV show. And I was like, that makes more sense.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
it's a joke. Don't.
I was going to say, I also think a lot of this is down to the availability and the low price, which you can jump into Fallout these days with the titles on Steam being just a few pounds or dollars, wherever whatever the currency happens to be in your part of the world. But I think that plays into a lot of it too. Well,
they all went on sale, didn't they? That helped.
They did.
Yeah.
The marketing nailed it.
Yes.
Marketing can get sometimes a bad rap these days, but no, they fucking nailed it for this and right now, and they knocked it out of the park. I won't lie. Respect them for that, and the respect to effort and like respect to everybody who's like going into the games for the first time. I hope you enjoy them and everything. Like the Fallout games have never really clicked for me and everything. Like even the one that Amy loves and everything like that. I tried it, didn't work for me either way.
I love more than one.
There you go.
That's true, but you know what I mean, though. But it's great to see. Go out. I hope you are enjoying these experiences and everything like that and whatnot. And like fair play to the teams, to the dev team to like throw out new updates for I think most of them, or at least Fallout 4 and 76.
Fallout 4 is getting a next gen patch.
Got a next gen patch. Yeah.
And whatnot. So it's like, well done to them. Fair play. Good on you and everything like that. TV show. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm halfway through it.
I am more than halfway through. I've almost finished. I've got one episode to go.
Yeah, I just finished watching episode 4, so I got 4 more episodes. I'll be done by next week. But like, my initial thoughts are like, there's a lot to like. There's a lot I like about it. Like the tone of the show, like completely nails what Fallout is. Like the dark humor. The vibes. I've seen a lot of people talk about the vibes. The vibes are incredible. Like the sets, the props, the world in general are great. I think Walton Goggins and is it Ella Purnell?
Yes,
are both brilliant. I love them both. And Matt Berry turned up as a robot in the last episode, and it was so fucking cool. And yeah, like there's so much to like about this thing, but like to echo what Moody was saying about June, this is fucking boring, man. Like this show is so boring. Like the 4th episode was a lot better. I really enjoyed the 4th episode, and it might partially have something to do with the fact that a character who I just every time he's on the screen, he's one of the main characters. He's the Brotherhood of Steel guy. Like I feel like what's the point?
Yeah.
Like why are you here? And he wasn't in that episode. That may have contributed somewhat to me liking the 4th episode. But the first 3 episodes, man, I fell asleep watching the second one. Like, so little happens. It's so slow. And I'm just searching for the point of, like, why am I watching? And I get it. Like, we joked at the beginning. It's great marketing for the games. But, like, why is this even happening?
Sorry, Moody, go ahead with your thoughts. Then I've got a question.
So, Amy, you're spot on. It's slow as hell. It is a crawl. Those first 2 episodes are like a crawl and a half, even the 3rd episode and whatnot. There's some like I get where people are coming from, like it nails like what Fallout is and everything, like the dark humor, like what Amy was saying, the look of it and the feel of it. It feels like if you were in Fallout and whatnot. And I get that, and I think that's very well done to them and whatnot. A lot of practical effects look really, really good. There's a CGI part in the later episodes, which I've just finished, and I'm just like, oh, you don't look good. You don't look good. You should have gone practical. I don't care. You should have gone practical. It looks really bad. But yeah, either way, it is a slow show. For the most part, the characters have been boring and bland for me. There's a fun one, which is obviously the cowboy one, the Google one.
Walton Goggins.
Goggins, is it?
Walton Goggins, yeah.
But he has a charm to him that just makes you want to like him, even if he was a villain or a good guy. You know what I mean? He radiates a charm to him. But it's very slow going when it comes to like just for getting to know these characters, even to know what these characters are. The main character, she was very one note through the first few episodes. Thankfully, for what I've seen, things have progressed, but it's still a bit of a slow pace, and it's just like. I don't even remember the character's name, but Ella Purnell's character is like she is really one note, but I like the note. Where it's like, she's coming out of the vault to the surface, and she's like the vault dweller, right? Like okie dokie, and like her coming crashing into contact with the wasteland and stuff. And yeah, it does hit the same note over and over again, but it's like, I mean, it's pretty funny. The thing is about it, I'll say one thing: it's nailed the Fallout premise really well on part of that. That main thing that you're meant to be doing. Forget about it.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
We're gonna go this direction.
Walton Goggins literally has that line where he's like, "It's the golden rule of the wasteland." that will always get sidelined by random bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm on like I haven't started the last episode. I'll probably finish it after this episode after we finish recording. It does get better, but it's like So the thing is about it, like I've shout out all the time for anything I watch or read or anything like that. I need the characters I care about or that I've clicked with, and I'm not really clicking with him. Walter Goggins, like say, he's got the charm about it, and he just has that cool factor about him. But no offense, his character hasn't really got that much to him either. For the first few episodes, he's just there to be cool.
He's just there to be a dick, and it's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm on board because it's Walton Goggins, but
the knight.
I don't understand what his character is even supposed to be doing.
He's insufferable. He's really insufferable.
Like,
a pain in the ass, really.
I'm so confused and like almost angry whenever it's like it cuts to him, and I'm like, oh no. It's like because I'm gonna have to spend the next 5 minutes with this guy, and it's like, no, I don't want to. And then like episode 4, like he's not in it. There's a story with both Oliver Purnell and Walton Goggins, and then there's another story, and I'm like, all right. Things are finally starting to get going. I can see a plot. There's a plot developing here.
Yeah.
This is good. We're halfway through.
With 4 more episodes to go, if they pick up the pace, we might actually have a full plot by the end.
There you
go. Yeah, like it was so random, and I will get your question in a minute, Fitz, but it's like it was so random because I watched the first 2 episodes and then I had a break, like a few days. And like I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, my god, this show is so boring and slow, and not in a good way. Like I like slow burns, but like slow burns that have like a building towards something, whereas like Fallout just didn't feel like it was building towards something. And I'm watching a lot of other people online be like, this is the best video game adaptation ever. I felt like I was losing my mind. I was like, am I becoming that person that just hates things that everybody likes?
You said that a few times.
Well, because it's happened a few times this year, right? Like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Fallout the TV show. It's like, am I just like, what's wrong with my brain? But then like, I've always had someone backing me up where it's like, thank God, it's not just me.
Yeah.
I
think there's a lot of tribalism that comes with these kind of things anyway. It's like people who are tangentially fans of Fallout will really latch onto this series and need it to be everything to everybody kind of thing.
And allow me to just point out, I do like Fallout.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. But then it's one of these things where any slight critique against an IP that they are invested in kind of thing is like you're trying to stab them in the heart and kick their dog at the same time. It's one of these things where they'll take huge offense to it.
I do get it. I do get that a lot and everything like that, because there's just sometimes I'm just like, when I hear like something I really like, and then sometimes I'm just like, if someone says, "Oh, do you like this?" Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Oh, it just doesn't work for this. I'm just like, all right, just can't be bothered to listen to you. And I won't like, I have been like that. That's a me thing or anything like that. That's just a tribalism thing in general, basically, when it comes to people, because we want to champion the things that we all love and everything like that. And it can be painful when something like I said, it didn't really work for me. And I'm saying, and I do apologize to those people who are loving this show if they and it is to them the greatest thing since sliced bread and everything like that. For me, it is very slow paced and it's very can drag like hell. But I have enjoyed it. I won't lie. I will state this. There are parts that I have really enjoyed and everything. There's a part in episode 2, I think it is, where I literally almost went full fucking John Wick on one character. I almost jumped through the TV going John Wick, but I did not. Don't worry, people. It has been an enjoyable show, but it's also like, I think if you have the knowledge of Fallout, you will get more of a kick out of this. I don't really have that knowledge because I tried the games and I'm just like bored. Let's go on to something else now, something type of like it's just not clicking for me. So I don't really know much about the world really. So it has been a slow pace for me and knocked back, but I have seen enjoyment out of it, and I can answer it next week after I've seen the final episode to say if I can recommend this.
Sam.
So I'm not going to give it a recommendation or I'm not going to give it either. Right now, I'll give it next week. But there are parts that are bad. There are also parts that have been really good. So
So my question relates to this whole series dropped in one go. Do you reckon would have benefited from it being a week-to-week release? In the terms of, I appreciate you were saying, some episodes really slow and all the rest of it. Would it have benefited from having that space to breathe?
I wonder if it had come out week to week, more people would have noticed the pacing issues. Like if you had to watch that first episode, wait a week to watch the second episode, then wait a week to watch the third episode where basically nothing has happened yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe it would have been like, whereas like people have blitzed it.
Yeah. I agree with what you say. What you're asking of it. Like for me, I think long term, if you've got something that's really, really good, you release it weekly and everything like that. Like what we've been seeing with X-Men 97.
X-Men 97, absolutely. Yeah.
For me, for the Bad Batch, for me, for like Shogun and everything, they've been weekly and they've been on my mind throughout. In overall, universally being talked about in really good positive lights.
Yeah.
This Fallout show is probably going to be forgotten about within 2 weeks. And I don't mean that nasty or anything like that, but I agree with what Amy's saying. If it was weekly, I don't think people would be saying the same thing as what they're saying now, because the pacing issues, I think, will be more apparent for them and everything like that. Because you're going to be realizing these are long episodes. Like they're all of them pretty much an hour long. There's like 2 in the middle, I think, are like 50 and 40,
and again
47.
Yeah, the fourth episode was really like 40 something long. Best one so far.
I agree with the fourth episode. It's like when you get to the fourth episode, which is really bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's really bad if you've waited all the way to the fourth episode to do something. It's like there's some great action like in those first 4. Like the second episode, I thought there was some really good action and some really dark humor, what Fallout is known for and everything. But yeah, the pacing issues. I think if it was weekly, this pose for me, I would say would have been less well received. I think the viewership for the game and everything would have still gone up because it always happens with that.
It'd be more relevant for a longer period of time, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah. So for me, because of the patient issues, they've done the right thing of dropping it all at once, even though they will be completely forgotten about within 2 weeks.
And I think a lot of people are playing their first Fallouts now. Like, I don't think this is just fans going, "Oh, I remember Fallout. Fallout's great. Let me reinstall Fallout." I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's like 5 games of this stuff. Like, let me check one of these games out for the very first time."
Yeah.
Pick New Vegas.
Yeah.
Dummies. Actually, no. Pick whatever you want. I've seen people arguing about this online where it's like, "Oh, people are playing Fallout 4. No, they're stupid. They should play New Vegas." Like, no, they should play 3. It's just like whichever one vibes with the person at the time that they're browsing them, just let them play that one.
And then play Starfield, and it's like,
and then play Fallout.
They haven't progressed an iota since in 20 years.
Wow, this is the same game.
Yeah.
It's just in space. Oh no!
Found a way to get rid of VATS. that's all they've done.
Oh, I got to shout out. I love all of the video game touches, and I love the fact that they kept them all in, like stim packs. People are getting shot and stuff, and they're just literally just injecting themselves with stim packs. And like you see the Pip-Boy UIs and stuff, and they've got the little health, the dude with all the health bars and stuff on it, and it's just like, I fucking love it. They've like properly leaned into the video game.
They really have, and I give them marks and respect for that. Like, dude, like seriously, they've done a really good job. Like where they've leaned into the lore really well, and and if you know the lore and everything like that, you're gonna be like, you're snorting that all up like it was coke, line of coke for you.
Oh yeah, like I've had one spoiler like for a thing that hasn't like been shown yet, but it's like, yeah, it made me go Planet of the Apes. It's like, you blew it up, you maniacs. But I'm excited to see it in context.
I'm intrigued to see with how the penultimate episode was for me, what the finale is going to be. I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Fallout, everybody.
Yeah.
That's Fallout. If you enjoyed it, well done. Awesome. That's fantastic. I champion that all the way.
Can I talk about the other thing I've been doing this week?
Hell
Go
yes.
for it. What?
Played a video game.
Apart from... Oh, you played a video game.
Played a video game. Balatro. Yeah. I played Balatro over the weekend.
You're a poker expert now?
I feel like... No. Don't trust me with any of your chips. If when we all go on our work retreat, Words About Games work retreat to Vegas, don't trust me with your chips. But no, I figured like it's the second best reviewed game of the year. Someone here should probably play it. So I thought I'll bite the bullet. No, my friend recommended it to me. Actually, she was really enjoying it. So I thought, you know what, it's cheap enough. I bought it on PlayStation, and I sat down to play it about 1 p.m. on Saturday. And then I was like, you know, I was playing it. Did a couple of runs, and I was like, you know, still getting to grips with the game. And I thought, ooh, a bit peckish. Maybe I'll get some like a sandwich or something, and, you know, like for lunch, because, you know, it's about lunchtime. And I looked and it was 6 p.m. and I was like, I've played this for 5 hours. Holy shit! Where did all that time just go? Yeah, it's really addictive. It's like it's the poker roguelike, and I've been thinking in my head about how to try and describe what the game is and how it works really succinctly, and I don't know if that's necessarily possible. But basically, like, yeah, it's a card game. And like it's a roguelike, so you have 8 antes. It's all very poker themed, and each ante has a small blind, a big blind, and a boss blind. And basically, you just have to keep going through escalating difficulties. And you get cards, shuffle cards into your hand. They're poker cards, they're playing cards, and you make like poker hands. So like 4 of a kind, flushes, and I learned what all those things are now. I know what they are now. Whatnot. Yeah. We don't like straights, but
okay.
I don't like straights. Wait, no, that came out wrong too. In poker, flushes are where it's at, man. Save. Flushes are easy, but like it's a roguelike in terms of the fact that you also get jokers, which can like modify your like play style, like what's going on. So like you'll get jokers where you'll get, so like scores are dictated by you play a certain hand, and it's each card gives you chips, and then it's times, that shows chips are times by a multiplier, and that's what gives you your score. And what most jokers do is you'll find some way to modify either the multiplier or the chips. So for example, I got a joker that was like, hey, every diamond that score like you play that scores points will give you +4 to your multiplier. So if I was playing flushes with 5 diamond cards, I would get +20 to my multiplier. Obviously, like if I'm timesing 50 by 20, that's a lot more than not. And then it's like, okay, so like there's other types of cards like tarots and stuff, and it's like, okay, so like the run that I won on was the diamond run. I called it the diamond run, and it's like, cool. So I'm like looking for cards that'll let me like delete all of my non-diamond cards, so I'm just drawing more diamonds so I can play more flashes, or like planet cards which increase the levels of certain like hand types. So it's like, oh, like this one increases the level of flushes, which means that I get more points by playing a flush, which is what I'm doing because that's how I'm getting all of my points. And like it all feeds into itself, where it's like you play your first ante, and it's like you're getting the jokers that you get at the beginning, and you're like, right, cool, now I've got to modify a playstyle with like whatever jokers I've managed to pull here. And it's pretty cool. Like you've got to really adapt on the fly to like what you get and what you're doing. And I've managed to win once.
Nice.
Exactly once.
So I've only had a cursory look at this game, but the thing that broke my brain is that there are more than 52 cards in play at any one time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
From multiple decks. So you could get, in theory, like 4 queens of diamonds knocking around on the same playing field, kind of thing.
So like I'm gonna use this one run just to like keep things as simple as possible. I'm gonna use my diamond run as well for all my examples. But like on my diamond run, obviously like I was prioritizing diamonds. Like all my cards had to be diamonds, and tarot cards, which you can get, so like you can shop between each blind, right, with money that you earn from winning, basically. And you can open booster packs with tarots in them. They just like do certain things. Like for example, remove 3 cards. So it's like remove these cards, but also like you can change cards into other cards. So like I can take this 2 of clubs and I can change it into a queen of diamonds, and now I've got 2 queens of diamonds. Yeah. Stuff like that. It's like I can clone cards. I can do that. It's like, yeah. So like I think in the end I had like 30 diamond cards in my deck, and it was just like, cool, keep getting those diamonds, because it doesn't matter what I play, I'm just going for flushes. Throw them all out there. So yeah, you can end up with more cards, less cards, like loads of queens or loads of 2s or.
So I enjoy playing poker, but I think this takes it one or maybe two levels further than I am really down to experience. So I know that when we were playing Rebirth, and I was getting quite frustrated playing Queen's Blood. One, because I wasn't seeing or wasn't experiencing the fandom that everybody else seemingly was. And we're in the same boat when it comes to that kind of thing. But then also, I enjoyed Queen's Blood up to a point where they started adding cards which modified other cards, and they started doing, oh, if you win this row, then it gives you an extra 10 points and all the rest of it. It was that extra level of meta that I wasn't potentially ready for.
Right.
So that's what I don't want to say concerns me, but it's kind of given me trepidation in terms of jumping into this game. But from what I hear, everybody who tries this game, as the critics suggest, kind of thing, loves this game.
Yeah,
and they're losing many hours to it.
But yeah, no, so you've got that foundation that I didn't have, which was like, you like poker. So therefore, you already have an advantage to me when I started playing it, because I was like, I didn't know what a flush was.
Right, okay, yeah.
I was trying to do other stuff and ignoring that because I didn't know what it was. And it turns out it's really powerful. Do that. Stop trying to get full houses. That's really difficult. But but yeah, no, like, it's very much situational. So like, whereas in Queen's Blood, like, you have to do the same thing over and over again, and the thing that changes are the cards that are playing against you.
Yeah.
Whereas in Balatro, it's very situational. So it's like you're building your modifiers, like whatever joker, like, because you can have 5 jokers at once, and whatever like the first like joker or 2 that you get is basically that's going to dictate, okay, how am I approaching the rest of this run? Like, because it was the first joker that I got was you get extra points for all of the diamonds. So I was like, right, cool. That's how I'm building this run. So then it's like, I know what cards I'm looking for in tarots. I know what cards I'm looking for in like the planets and stuff. And it's like, I know how I'm trying to build my deck. And then like later on, I got a card where I got another joker where it was like, every time you skip a booster pack, the multiplier will go up on this card, which means you score more points. So it's like, okay, open every booster pack. And then if there's nothing in there that I want, just skip it, and I'm still getting an advantage from it. It's like, so like you're constantly adapting to it. And sure, yeah, there's many runs where it's like, yeah, I've gone through the first round, like the first ante, and like I haven't really gotten anything good. I'm just gonna restart. Like, there's no point in struggling on without some like bedrock foundational joker. But it's like really easy, you just restart and then.
So the jokers act like the boons would in like something like Hades, in terms of that's your roguelike modifier where it's changing through everyone.
Yeah, that's your modifier, yeah. So it's like, you'll get all sorts. Like the diamond card that I was talking about, there's one for each suit. There's a one where it's like aces will give you like, I'm not going to describe what each card one does, but it's like, there's one where like aces will give you lots of bonuses. So it's like, right, cool, like start like trying to find aces, turning cards into aces, do this other stuff. There's one funny one where it's like Fibonacci. So like all of the numbers in the Fibonacci sequence will give you bonuses if you play them.
Yeah.
And when you're just throwing cards out for flushes, it's like, all right, cool. But I've got a 2 here. I should play the 2 because that's going to give me bonuses. And it just like rewires how you're approaching each run.
Cool. Moody, you can jump in?
I have a wish list on my PS5, but I have not jumped in yet. But I hopefully will be.
Balatro. It's one of those games where it's like I feel like you're either going to bounce right off of it, or you're going to get addicted to it.
Does it have a banging soundtrack?
Yeah, it's got like that little background jazzy sort of like what you would sort of expect from like poker, like
nice.
And it's just like going in the background. It didn't annoy me, and I played it for like 5 hours straight. So
yeah, it's definitely might be a podcast game.
Maybe, yeah. Like I want to win more games. Like you unlock different decks that give you like extra discards, extra like hands, extra money. So like I want to try and like win some more runs at some point. I feel like it's a game where now that I've beaten it once, I think the unending obsession has stopped. Whereas now it'll become a game where it's like, you know what I fancy playing for a couple of hours? Balatro.
Yeah.
Whereas like when I hadn't won, I was like, I have to fucking beat this game. I'm so close. I kept getting there's 8 antes, and I was like, I keep getting to the 7th one and then dying. Because because there's boss blinds as well. So the boss blind has a modifier and it's random in every ante. So it'll do things like all of your clubs are debuffed. So like the club cards that you play won't give you any points. So if you build your, like if I had ever got that for diamonds, my diamond run would have basically been over.
Ends the run, that's for sure.
Yeah, but like you can also like do things to negate them as well. Like there's jokers that if you like exist purely to, if you sell this, the boss blind will not take effect. And I had that one at the end. I was like, cool, I'm saving it. Got to the last one. I was like, boom, bitch. I'm going to win.
Hell yeah. So thancfully, the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth became available this week for those who've ordered. So I have the Queen's Blood track that plays in the back now. So I think that's where I'm getting all my enjoyment for the bits of that particular card game that I enjoyed. So there's that as well, which you and I will be going to see live performed by the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Orchestra. So
hell yeah,
can't wait for that.
It's going to be sick. I'm looking forward to it. That's too far. Let's go to a little halftime. It's that time of day on Video Game Day where we tell you about a cool looking upcoming indie game. That's right, it's Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do every week where we tell you about a cool game and we wishlist it. You should wishlist.
Yeah.
This one is called Tiny Tires.
Sure is.
Did anyone ever play? And I'm going back. I'm going back to like Super Nintendo or PlayStation 1 era video games. Did anyone ever play Micro Machines?
Right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, those games ruled.
They sure did.
So Tiny Tires.
I had Micro Machines 2 on the Commodore Amiga. Is how I first played that game.
Yeah, I think I had the very first one. It had like, I remember the box art vividly, and it was like there was a Formula One car and another car, and I think they were on a snooker table, and there was a card, and
they're going past the AI.
Yeah. But like, I'm totally like in my retro games like journey. It's like I want Micro Machines again because that game is fucking ruled. But Tiny Tires is the 2024 estimated release date indie version of Micro Machines.
Yes.
Basically, that's what it is. Found it this morning. Like, I saw someone talking about it. I was like, shit, yes, I love Micro Machines. I'm going to put this in the game of the week. So, yeah, like, you race around on, like, in a house, but you're a tiny little car. So, like, all of the tracks are, like, someone's kitchen. And you're driving around coffee cups and, like, over the sinks and stuff. And, like, and that's it. I want it now.
I'm currently updating Steam, so I can add it to my wish list right now.
I need to change the link in the doc because I didn't change it from last week because I've just looked because I was about to click it. But fuck yeah, like indie Micro Machines. It's called Tiny Tires. You should definitely go and wish list it.
Yeah, that tires TIRES as opposed to tires on a wheel. Tiny Tires.
Tiny Tires.
Hell yeah, look at that.
It's Micro Machines.
It sure is. I'm going to lose so many hours to this.
My only thing is it's local multiplayer only, which I get because like Micro Machines was single screen multiplayer. But I'm hoping they like add online multiplayer at some point.
Oh, there's like object collision as well. So like you can hit a cue ball and it'll move. So okay, that's cool. Hell yeah. This
is great. I love bringing indie games to you all and being like, look at this cool thing.
We like the games with the brum-brums in them, so yeah.
I like dig around in the big garbage trash place, and then I just pop out and I'm like, look at this. I found something that's not trash.
There you go.
Tiny Tires. The link's in the description wherever you choose, wherever you get your podcast, wherever you listen and watch. Click it, click that wish list button, and then buy the game when it comes out if you want. Whenever that is, I will be. Shall we do a little halftime break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
And the friends, back in a sec.
Halftime break, and we're back. Glad to see you're still not on fire.
Yeah. Do you know what you want to know? What is on fire? Keanu Reeves is apparently Shadow.
Who's the segue in the house today?
You could have segued to any story there.
Yeah, there is that.
That was a good segue.
They've gone Ubisoft being Ubisoft again. Or more gasoline on that fire. Yeah. But no, Keanu Reeves. Like, I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't have like any thing known that he was going to be in it. But I just, when I heard it was him, I was like, that sounds about right. I don't know why I just went, it sounds right.
Just to recap for those listening, so Keanu Reeves is speeding along to another franchise with a John Wick star heading to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. He'll be voicing the popular character named Shadow, multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. So from what I understand, Jim Carrey, there was some consternation as to whether they would come back or not. They have signed on, and apparently Dr. Robotnik is going to look very much as he does in the video games as opposed to what he did in the first two movies. But also that Hayden Christensen was originally in line to play Shadow the Hedgehog. So I don't think there's any wrong answers there when it comes to Shadow the Hedgehog when you've got Keanu Reeves and Hayden Christensen, just in terms of what they mean to, let's say, the culture. In general. But yeah, you know, if you're one of the Sonic sickos out there and you're excited for Knuckles, the TV show starring Idris Elba coming out soon, and then whenever Sonic 3 drops in what's known as Year of the Shadow, then hell yeah, more power to you.
Yeah, it drops December. Yeah.
Yes.
Whatnot. So yeah, like, yeah, we all know I was not a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It didn't click for me at all.
Did the first one?
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. The first one was I was like, it's got a lot of heart to it. Like, I
liked the bit when they were in the Green Hill Zone.
Yeah,
and then once it left that, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, yeah, I thought the first one had a lot of heart to it as well. The second one was just, for me, it was just a mess for me personally. But no, it's like Shadow. Like, I saw I didn't see the reveal of him like at the end of the movie. And yeah, so it's like, yeah, Shadow. Yeah, I don't know if he's as popular as what everyone making him out to be. I've always heard that he's kind of a bit of a mixed bag for a lot of people. So it's like, I don't know how it's going to wait. I don't know. For me, it's like it could go any way. But as they throw in literally Keanu Reeves to be him, I'm just like, everyone's fine now.
If a character has a gun, you give him Keanu Reeves.
That's fair. But no, yeah, it's yeah. Well, I have no interest in Sonic 3. I might see it. I don't know.
You're going to see it. Let's be fair. You're going to try at least the first 45 minutes.
And if Shadow isn't in it by then, I'm out.
There you go.
Yeah, but no, yeah, it's I understand why they've gone Keanu instead of what you said is true. It's that it was between him and Hayden Christensen. Keanu's the biggest star. No offense to Hayden Christensen, like respect to that guy and everything, but like you've only got cool now because of Star Wars again, because you weren't liked in the prequels. People keep forgetting this. It's like no one liked him. I'm just like, well, okay, now he's
I get that, but I think that the people who didn't like him during the prequels have now obviously grown up along with the actor themselves and can now see that a lot of the problems were down to the writing and the direction and all the rest of it outside of their performance. So it's kind of
saying all those lines.
I know, you're saying all that. Now, 9 times out of 10, it's just like the sequel trilogy sucks, so we all get on well now.
Yeah, it was like you want to see a bad Star Wars trilogy? We got you covered.
There you go. We have multiple to choose from now.
Yeah,
it's great. But like I said, I can't talk anything when it comes to Star Wars. As I was saying before, kind of thing. It's never been a franchise that's resonated with me. But you know, if that was your thing and you're disappointed that Hayden didn't get this role, I'm sure there'll be other roles for that gentleman in the future. But yeah, for all the Sonic sickos out there. And obviously, I know the furry community is really big into this, and they're going to show up for this movie. And I'm sure they're delighted that Keanu Reeves is going to be part of the fandom. So I'm sure they'll be loving that.
I don't have anything. If anyone's waiting for me to weigh in, it's like, I don't know.
Sure.
Don't ask me. All I remember about the Sonic movies is I had to leave the podcast the last time we talked about Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I didn't have to. Someone decided to bring them up. Not my fault.
Where would you like to go next, friends?
Bed.
Star
I make
Wars.
that joke every week. I need to make new jokes.
Let's go back to Star Wars and Ubisoft. Why not?
Oh,
Yeah, because this is something we touched on last week, didn't we?
No. He
No,
was
we
in
didn't.
the Discord. We didn't.
Okay.
Not unless we can fold time and space.
I mean,
It's coming.
you are a person with many talents.
It's coming, but not yet.
Okay, so this is a story via VGC that Star Wars Outlaws locks Jabba the Hutt mission behind $110 premium edition with a Ubisoft response. So yeah, this was going around the internet that Jabba the Hutt, obviously one of the principal characters of the Star Wars films, they were going to be involved in one of the missions, and they were featured part of the story trailer and what have you. And there was some consternation as to whether their mission would be held back behind some sort of premium paywall that was only available for those who spent $110 on the title. With the original release was just as Kay's putting together a crew for the Canto Bike heist. She receives a job from Jabba the Hutt himself. The mission description reads: "Turns out that ND5 owes Jabba a debt from years ago, and he has come to collect." Yeah, so there was some consternation that it was either going to be either the $110 Gold Edition or the $130 Ultimate Edition. We're getting ridiculous with these, but hey, that's a different conversation. The response from Ubisoft is to clarify: Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt Cartel are one of the main syndicates in Star Wars Outlaws and will be part of the experience for everyone who purchases the game, regardless of edition. A Ubisoft spokesperson said in a statement to IGN. The Jabba Gambit mission is an optional additional mission with the Hutt Cartel along Kay and Nix's journey across the Outer Rim. This mission will be available to those who purchase the Season Pass or an edition of the game, which includes the Season Pass. Wait, so you still need a Season Pass to access the missions?
The one mission. The clarification sounds like Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt Cartel are going to be in the game. You're going to do a lot of stuff.
Right,
Jabba
but there's an
and the
additional
Hutt
mission
Cartel,
to do.
but there's
Right,
just another mission that you can unlock if you buy the Season Pass or one of the expanded editions or whatever they're called. And if it sounds like I'm being blasé about this, it's because I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I tried
Ubisoft going to
I tried
Ubisoft
to
at the
care,
end of the day.
and then I was like, I can't. I'm sorry.
In the litany of issues that Ubisoft has to deal with, this is added to the pile. And the pile is pretty big at the moment. But I'm glad they came out with a clarification. Obviously, the original wording was a bit dim-witted in order to spark this confusion anyway. But yeah, look, you know, this is Ubisoft and this is Star Wars. And if there's an opportunity to nickel and dime you, then they'll find a way to do so. So we hope you enjoy some of those proper nouns that I said. There were a lot of them in that sentence. But yeah, go do a Star Wars.
The thing is about it, it's like it's just Ubisoft's, like what he says, Ubisoft's going to Ubisoft and whatnot. It's just disappointing. Like it's taking a shine away from a game that is looking like it has a lot of promise and everything. But now because of this just backlash, because of all this shit and everything like that, it's just the shine has been knocked off it a little bit and everything like that. But either way, that like the people are going to complain complain all the hell they want. They're still going to be buying this game and everything because it's Star Wars. That's it. If it was just a game that says Outlaws, then I can understand where people. Well, I can understand why they're like that. There's no doubt about that. But if it was just a game called Outlaws and had nothing to do with Star Wars, then I could. Then I can see where the game's poised might fail and everything, but it's not. It's Star Wars. It's a Star Wars game. People are going to buy the fucking game. People bitched and complained about Battlefront 2 from a year. It still was one of the best-selling games that year. So people can whine and bitch and complain and moan all the hell they want, but they're still going to buy this fucking game. Like, the people's... what is it? Little 15 minutes of crying and whining about something goes away really fast when the game lands or the film lands or something like that. Like, the amount of times that we've bitched and complained about this company about for legitimately more important reasons than this. And it's a falling on deaf ear. Yeah, you can all go suck an egg if you're complaining about this. For me personally, it's just like, yeah, whine about something important next time, guys. It's like, this is not important. This is just Ubisoft going to be Ubisoft, or corporation going to be corporate.
There it is.
That's what they're going to
do. There you go.
You caught the addendum. I was waiting out on the end of that. I was like, it's not just Ubisoft, but like, yeah, it's like, you know, if you season passes for single player games, dumb. Like, day one missions that unlock for games, also dumb. But if y'all keep buying them, they want to keep making them. So, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's why I can't get mad at it.
The market will dictate what it's worth, right?
I am not going to buy, like, probably not going to buy Star Wars Outlaws to begin with. But, like, if I do get Star Wars Outlaws and play it, I'm not going to buy the season pass of the mission pack. And I'm going to have a great time, maybe, regardless. Like,
depending on the quality of the game.
If the game's good, could it be buggier than Fallen Order? Jedi Survivor, whatever last year's one was.
It's a 50-50 bet here, like, because sometimes Ubisoft games can be pretty buggy. We all remember Unity.
I'll never forget Unity.
The eyeballs sticking out of that person's face. We'll never forget that for the rest of my days.
I tried to review it, but it crashed 2 hours in. Consistently. And then I was like, well, this is going to have to be my review. I can get 2 hours into the game, guys. People's faces keep disappearing. But yeah, no, it's like, it sucks, but like, I can't really care. Like, I've reached a point in my video game playing journey of life where it's just like, if I don't like something, I'm just not going to buy it. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, I don't like this practice, ergo, I'm not going to pay for the season pass or the it's funny to read this story after we talked about Mike Ibarra's galaxy brain idea about tipping devs, where it's like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is. This is literally what it is. It's like, if you want to tip the devs, and, you know, by devs, you mean studio, it's like, you buy the season pass, the gold edition, the ultra gold edition. It's like that. $70 is the base price for a AAA game, not the full price.
But this is the thing about it. Like, the industry's also starting to realize. Well, they're not starting to realize that it's more like they're starting to take notice to a certain extent of like, oh, $70 games, maybe not the way to go and everything like that, because we're not making as much money.
We're not meeting sales expectations for all of our games all of a sudden. Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, not just Square Enix.
Which is apparently like not meeting sales expectations. It's like, I wonder how that could have happened.
Name more iconic duo, Square Enix, and it hasn't met sales expectations.
I think someone just keeps copy pasting.
Yeah.
Like, the same thing. It's like, delete as applicable, like, in game name here, like, thing. It's just like,
does that come out? Has it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this past week, it's like, it didn't meet sales expectations because, you know, oh no, because people, it's a bad game. Not because the first one released when we were all locked in our houses.
Yeah.
Like, a direct sequel to a game isn't going to sell as well as the first one, because there's people who aren't like Moody who didn't like the first game and just aren't going to buy the second game. And your sales expectations are too high. Square Enix's sales expectations are always too high.
There'll be some who don't believe your lies that says, oh, you can jump straight into the second one. No,
bullshit.
you can't.
Yeah, Remake was on 120 consoles.
Yeah.
Rebirth was on 50 million consoles. Yeah. So, give or take.
That was my third point that I forgot. It was like, also,
install base.
Your install base is a lot smaller.
Yeah. But that's just Square, like what you said. Like Square Enix, they just have too much lofty heights to when it comes to a game or whatnot. I kind of want to also like shout out, not shout out, freaking share the freaking EA as well about for obviously with Dead Space and everything like that. Apparently, like Dead Space remake didn't make their targets they were expecting and whatnot. I was thinking, what were you expecting? And a lot of people were like a lot of us were all shouting at them saying, "Yo, why did you fucking kill this great season, this great franchise you have right now?" And we were all like, "Yes, you're bringing it back. Awesome. Remake was one of the best remakes that year. I fucking loved that game. It was so good." And it was just like, yeah, we're not doing it. We're either not going to do the remake or we're not going to do the new game that we were apparently rumored. I don't really give a fuck.
We're not pulling that rabbit. We're not going down that fucking rabbit hole. That was so dumb.
I wasn't going to go down that rabbit hole. I was just going to do what I said there, and that's it.
Jeffrey fucking Grub making up his shit.
But it's like, what is it? EA, it's just like, yeah, we're giving you single player games, but we want Star Wars money from you guys. It's like, you're not going to get Star Wars money from Dead Space.
Let's be real though, every single Dead Space game that came out failed to meet sales expectations. So really, it's just tradition. Yeah. It's like that Valerie Badass gif and traditions.
Just to the Heineken. That's it.
Traditions.
Yeah, it's just it sucks hearing that when it comes to Dead Space and whatnot, because I was really we talked about it after we reviewed the game, saying what we're thinking we're going to get a brand new game or the remake of 2 and everything, and I think I said remake for 2. I think that would be the best idea, and then probably completely do a new game of 3, just not remake 3, just a new game.
So
and whatnot.
And I said neither. I want to point out I was the smarty pants. I said neither. I said I would prefer a new game.
The thing that strikes me with this EA business is that obviously we heard that they are going to look to shy away from licensed IP because they don't necessarily want to have to pay, let's say 40% to a Disney. Yeah, that's it. To a Disney or something in order for every single copy of a game that they sell. So if as Dead Space is an IP that EA owns, because I believe it's still like an original IP of theirs and whatnot. So they are not having to take 40% off. For example, how bad were their sales compared to their astronomical estimates? That even then it didn't make financial sense for them to carry on.
I don't think it's a financial sense argument. I just think because Motive's next game is Battlefield. Like they've put them on the Battlefield series, so it's like, well, what's going to sell more, Battlefield or Dead Space? Battlefield. I don't think it's a case of sorry, I wasn't doing a bit there. I was actually legitimately losing my voice there. But it's like, so that's the move that they made. It's like, well, we can get them to make another Dead Space game and make this amount of money. But we need someone to make Battlefield, and we kind of closed the studio that made Battlefield, so let's make them make Battlefield. The last time we did this, where we had the team that was making the original Dead Spaces make a Battlefield, ended really well for everyone involved. So let's just do that again.
Yeah, and nobody mentioned the Iron Man game that they were working on. Nope, nobody mentioned that. Where you got this Anthem tech that is supposedly lying around. Which, everybody said would make for a great Iron Man game, but that was, never mind. It's like WB and the Nemesis engine, right? The Nemesis system.
My brain.
Speaking of companies making dumb decisions, can we touch on what IGN were doing?
Yeah, sure.
So this is a long-running story of IGN going through a raft of layoffs, and I know we spoke about this on the podcast where they didn't consult the guild, the union that was formed, and they essentially just mercilessly laid these 3 people, I believe 3 people off. One of these people happened to break the news that not only are they dealing with losing their job, but they're also in a battle with cancer at the moment. So what does IGN do? They pitched an advert looking for on-camera talent or personality, sorry, which this person happened to be, after laying off someone who's in that particular role. So obviously we're aware of how the world works, kind of thing. So a company would lay a bunch of people off, list job listings for those same positions, but at a lower pay bracket, so they don't have to pay people as much as they were doing before. This reduces costs in the long term and all the rest of it. But from optics point of view, so it's kind of, if you're looking for someone to be your on-camera personality, what was wrong with the on-camera personality that you did have? And now, not only are they unable to pay rent and whatever it is, but unable to pay for their cancer treatments. Now, we have an understanding, or at least a brief understanding here in the UK of what the US healthcare system is like. And, then we have a brief understanding in terms of it's terrible. And I imagine with this person being out of work, they lose whatever healthcare plan they were on that was work sponsored anyway, kind of thing. So it's one of these where, what the heck are they supposed to do now? And, they're dealing with cancer, for goodness sake. And it's one of these where IGN continues to be tone deaf. And there's only, a handful of shining lights there now who are doing excellent work that we know of, that are front facing, kind of thing. Your Stella Chunks, your Rebecca Valentine's, that kind of thing. And it's one of these where, it's got to weigh down on those people in terms of, okay, we know IGN can do good, and the people there are decent, and they're there forming unions and whatever it is, but every other week there's a story of IGN being IGN, and it's kind of, where does it stop? Yeah.
You're kind of having a bit of a stare off there. Like, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to take it this time, or do you want me to take it this time?
You can take it.
Confirmed non-IGN fans, Daphne Mooney and Amy K. Alexander. I mean, like, yeah, it sucks. Like, I don't know what to say, man. Like, advertising for a job role that you just fucking let some guy go for, and like you talk about optics of, like, they're doing this and it sucks. I'm thinking about optics of, so you let the guy go, knowing full well that his medical insurance premiums are going to go up, which he gets his medical insurance through his workplace. To hire someone else to fill that role, who presumably will not have cancer. Did you do that on purpose? Because it kind of feels like you did that on purpose.
Yes.
I wouldn't have put it past
them.
them.
No doubt about that. They did. They won't say it, but we all know, let's just be frank, they did that.
Allegedly.
We know this.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. We all know this. IGN is a
awful, inhumane.
It's an awful, inhumane company who just, we all knew. We celebrated when the
and this goes to their paymasters, Ziff Davis, as well. It's not just IGN; it's the people who own them and the powers that be as well.
Yeah, and we all celebrated when in Champion, when they unionized and everything like that, and then they were able to get it through. But like, we're all like, I think in the background saying, yeah, something's going to happen. We know something's going to happen. And literally, what was like a few weeks later, something happened. They fired 3 people, didn't even speak to the union. And now they're doing what we knew was also going to happen, that those positions were going to put back up. We put back up to be saying, hey, we're hiring, type of thing, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And yeah.
Turns out we needed some of those people. We need
Yeah, it's crap. It's deplorable. And IGN should be ashamed of himself. And like, yeah, this is they, like, I only consider really one of them really that great there, and that was Rebecca Valentine, because she does incredible work. I know there are other people and everything like that, but it's just,
they deserve better. That's all.
They deserve absolutely better. There's no doubt.
Oh, everybody does it. Even if this video producer who was suffering from cancer and got sacked was one of the people at IGN who I have a significant problem with, and there are more than one, I wouldn't want this to happen to them either. Like,
of course,
yeah,
it sucks no matter who it was. Like.
Yeah. I hope this person lands on their feet and they are able to get the treatments that they are more definitely vitally needing and everything at this moment in time. And my thoughts go nothing but to love towards that person, because they're obviously going through an incredibly hard time right now, and they need nothing but love and support. So send that out to that person.
Where would you like to go next, friends? Because IGN aren't the only company who's hiring and firing.
I was going to say, let's stay on the shit fest and
I was gonna be like, let's talk about Nintendo, and you two just went, nah.
Stick on the shit. Let's stick on the shit fest, and let's go to one that's just. When I read it, I was like, "What the fuck?" So UK studio Kwalee,
Kwalee, yeah,
Kwalee
is making layoffs. Get this, people, to create room for new hires.
It said the quiet part out loud.
Are they fired? Are they getting rid of all of their terrible managers? And
no, man, that would be amazing.
Promoting people up to those managers to replace the positions that they've just promoted. Is that what they're doing? No, that's not how the force works, people. We know this. So,
no. This is quote: "We are reshaping our business and our team to best capture the significant growth opportunities that currently exist in the sector, including hiring for 20 new roles." They're quietly in a statement. Fuck off.
While laying off up to 40 people, according to Mobile Gamer.
Yeah.
.biz. Like, yeah, all right, mate. I applied for a job there once. Glad I didn't get it.
I've applied for jobs there as well. Yeah.
It feels like they're always hiring.
I wonder why. Yeah. I'm most definitely wondering fucking why and everything. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? And at the
what can you say apart from what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, seriously, we are hiring by firing. Like, yeah, wait, what? Like, seriously, and of course the impacts have obviously hit the QA sector. One of the top 5 jobs that are the most important in the video game development is the one that always gets hit all the time, the most, every time, every single company and whatnot. So yeah, go fuck yourself on that part when it comes to second the QA. Yeah, it just doesn't make this is like, if it was just like coming out and saying we've got rid of 40 people, we would just be still shouting and bowling at them and everything like that. But then when they literally, like what you said, Vince, they said the other part out loud. Why did they do this? But we're also hiring 20. Yeah. Wait, so why don't you just take 20 of the ones you just got rid of back?
No, what it was
went like this to you, unless they flipped you off and said "fuck you."
They probably work with a PR company, and it's one of these where instead of making 2 statements with a PR company, that would cost twice as much. So you bang it all into one statement. You just fire that out.
That might actually be true. I can't. Oh,
they're also. Then.
I mean, yeah, they're also, as it says further down in the news story, they're also expecting to invest in other companies during 2024.
Of course they are.
Excuse me there, just for coughing there. But yeah, I mean, what do you say to something like that, man? Like, at least when Frontier did it, they have they at least have the decency, heavy air quotes there for my audio listeners, to like wait before they started hiring for the roles that they made redundant. Like, these guys did they just did it all at once. It's like,
fucking fired and put out the thing and said, yeah, we're hiring. Wait, didn't you just sack 40 people? You
hold on a second.
Yeah, but the kicks just kept on coming as 2K decided to lay off hundreds of people and cut projects at the same time, because why the fuck not?
Remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about them and they were like, we have no plans to lay off any of the people.
Yep.
Bullshit.
We just need the Carl Pilkington to swing in at every single game studio.
Yeah, they're laying off approximately 5% of their global workforce, according to their statement.
There's 500 and around 79 people, basically 600 people.
It will cost them up to $200 million, and will last until roughly December 31st, like their restructuring program.
5% of workforce works out at 579 people out of the 11,580 they currently employ.
But Grand Theft Auto 6 is largely unaffected. Go fuck yourselves. I've said this before about statements which which say we're laying off a bunch of people. But don't worry, the games that we're making will be largely unaffected. One, that's not true. Two, I don't really give a shit about the video.
You give a shit about the people, not the game.
Shit about the people. Go fuck yourselves.
That's also taken into consideration. Not consideration. It's also taken note for this that I remember what we talked about 2 weeks ago, or whatever. Take-Two is also currently in the process of purchasing Borderlands' developer Gearbox from Invincible for $460 million.
Hey, Take-Two, I figured out where you can save the money without sacking anyone. Crazy idea. Man.
Don't buy a company.
Don't buy a fucking company if you can't afford it. It's like I was texting Fitz throughout the week, right? It was like I found I had this opportunity to get a really good deal on a stand mixer, like a KitchenAid stand mixer. Normally they're like 500.
Best of the business.
Normally they're like 500 quid, and I'm looking at like being able to pick one up for about just over 100 quid. Now I don't have 100 quid, so what I did was not buy the stand mixer because I didn't have the money.
That's a thing. That's a thing you can do.
That's a thing you can do. What I'm suggesting is companies like Microsoft and Take-Two, if they don't have the money, especially Embracer, I feel like Embracer really need to hear this. If you don't have the money, don't spend the money.
You listening, Lars?
Dickheads.
I know you're out there.
No, you're listening,
Wingfed.
Lars. Wingaforce. What's funny is I was writing a video a while ago about game preservation, and Embracer have this big place somewhere where it's like they've got like a massive game preservation thing, and I was going to be like, this is awesome, Embracer's cool for doing this, I'm glad that video never came out. I was annoyed enough when I gave my credit video at the end where I was like, but Rockstar seem to have turned around their studio culture, and then immediately after I hit publish on that video, started pulling the bullshit again.
What I'm hearing is your fault. You were the one that pushed things over the edge.
Exactly. That's how
we've got the Amy seal of approval.
Amy does something. We have to upset.
Well, you
her,
should. I'll tell you what. Based on the next video that I'm working on right now, you should all be very afraid.
That's it.
Yeah. So with all of those cuts and everything like that, now we are now at up to 8,800 people who have lost their jobs, and we aren't even through April yet.
We're beating 2022. I looked on that website. It's got the stats for the last couple of years. There's been more layoffs in video games in 2024 than in 2022.
Yeah,
2022 is.
I don't think we were talking about layoffs that much in 2022.
8 months longer than 2024 has currently been.
Yep. So thank you again, video game industry. Thank you again. So Amy, you said you wanted to go to the Nintendo Indie World Showcase
2 stories ago. When I still had hope for the future.
Oh, sorry.
No, I
the
don't.
clans of the internet said Silksong will be coming.
Right. I need to talk about this, right? I need everybody to shut the fuck up about Silksong every time there's a game showcase. No, right? Like, I'm being actually serious here. For a second, because what ends up fucking happening is all that happens is everybody's been talking about since before, during, and after this Nintendo Indie Direct is fucking Silksong, right? There were lots of cool games at this Indie Direct that you should be talking about instead of fucking Silksong. The same thing happened last week with that AAA initiative where it's like there's cool games at this thing, but all anyone's fucking talking about is Silksong going to be there. Maybe Silksong's going to be there. Oh, Silksong is not here. Like, what is it? Like, talk about the games that are in front of you.
Absolutely.
Shut the fuck up about Silksong. It's been 5 years. They'll show it when they show it. Get over it. Now,
I think if they're going to show something now, like for that type of game, you should really just start looking at potentially. Again, don't know the really big ones. I'm not saying this Indie Showcase thing wasn't a big one or anything like that, but for me, you're looking at like the Microsoft one in June.
I'm looking at
the Shit Keely one in June as well. Or whenever Nintendo do their next truly big one, and heck, maybe PlayStation do their big one and whatnot. It's because of what it's been at Nintendo, it's been at Microsoft. All they have to do is knock off PlayStation, and they've got the trifecta then. And whatnot, but yeah, it's like I feel for the devs for them because they'll be like getting touch wood, They aren't, but they'll probably be getting a ton of abuse for these people saying, where the fuck is this game and everything like that. And it's just like, yo, shut the fuck up. If you love the last one so much and you know how good it was, you will give them the time to get this game right for you. Because like, Jesus, the pressure everyone's putting this team under is, I can't imagine it. I really can't.
Shout out to everyone at Team Cherry. But let's talk about the games that were actually here.
Exactly, let's go for it.
Let's do it.
Did we all watch it?
No.
I caught the last half. I was on a bus, so I caught the last half.
That's fair. Yeah.
I was at work.
You were working? Were you working on any of these games? Ooh.
No.
Well.
Literally saying no.
You're saying no matter what. I've pulled that joke out on you so many times.
If it was announced, I could say yes if I wanted to.
If it was announced. If it was announced, that means he is working on one of these games. Which one could it be? Unannounced.
I can run down the list.
If you want. I mean, yeah.
Cool.
Shout out all the games.
So first up was Little Kitty Big City, which has a release date of May the 9th. After that, it was Yars Rising, which has a date of 2024 at the moment, so no firm release date of that.
Appreciate the extra effort I put into the list that I found. I put all the dates in as well for it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Great job, Amy.
I did work.
Refine Self.
Refine.
No, I didn't use my knees.
Refine Self, the personality test game, has a window of summer. Presumably, I mean this summer, but who knows with the video game industry. Sticky Business and the DLC. That was a shadow drop.
That's a good game.
Announced.
I own it on Steam. It's very good. I haven't played it yet.
Hell yes.
There goes my fidget spinner.
Anton Blast is coming November 12th. They came through and were doing the GDC tour when they came through San Francisco and presented this game for as problematic as their reference or their inspiration was. They do quote Earthworm Jim as one of their key inspirations, and you do see a lot of that in this game. So if that's your bag, then be sure to get excited for November 12th. Up next was Valley Peaks, which has a window date of 2024.
Valley Peaks.
Laura?
Valley Peaks, sure. Yeah. Whoa, you gotta slow down there, Vince. You give me that time to jump in.
Yeah.
Valley Peaks is a first-person platformer where you play as a frog.
Hell yes.
I'm not trying to say it. I'm not trying to tell you whether that's good or not.
Yep.
I'm just giving you that information. Do with it what you want.
There you go.
Wishlisted.
Yes. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I like the how that sounds, how that rolls off the tongue. May 16th.
Yeah, May 16th. So I got this on Fantasy Critic because I've seen several people in the gaming sphere on social media talk about how good this game is. So they've played it. Like developed, like I know Sam Barlow was talking about it's his favorite game of the year so far.
Right, yeah.
And I was just like, oh well, I'll pick it up because like their previous game, Sayonara Wild Hearts, was incredible.
What game's this, I ask?
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Laser Eyes.
So it's like, I was like, it must be coming soon. If Sam Barlow's played the game all the way through, it must be near, must be close. So I'm quite glad it's coming soon. And yeah, it looks fucking sick. And if you haven't played Sayonara Wild Hearts, you should, because it's really, really good.
And check out the soundtrack, which is available at all the decent places where you stream video game music. Up next was Europa, which didn't have any further details, so I imagine it was the reveal of there. Next up, it was our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're back with Splintered Fate coming out in July. So this looks to be a quick turnaround between the announcement and the game coming out. So for all you fans of those Heroes in a Half Shell, get excited. Exactly. Cat Quest 3, August 8th. After that was a shadow drop of a game called Stitch. And then a title which I've seen a tiny clip of, and it looks amazing. It's BZZZT. Yeah, exactly. And it's coming out due out this summer. So this is a 2D. I want to say it's like a Metroidvania, but it's a 2D action scroller. To begin with, where you play a tiny little robot who has the ability to dash in midair and collect coins, and the art style is phenomenal. So I highly recommend you check out
Dash in midair?
trailers for that.
You know, Metroidvania?
Next up, Shim. SCHIM, because I might be butchering that.
Shim. This was a Day of the Devs. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, and I was like, it's the puzzle game where you're a little shadow boy, and you've got to like jump between the shadows, like on the ground. And I was like, this game looks fucking incredible, and then it disappeared, like completely.
Well, now it's back.
And now
July
it's back,
18th.
and it's coming in July 18th. That's awesome.
Yeah. Animal Well, which I know a lot of people have on their radar, May 9th. So it's good to see that game again. And I know Amy's very excited for that game.
May 9th, that's like what? Like, that's not even that many weeks.
No, it's not.
Animal Well looks absolutely amazing. And I love that it's coming. You could get it on the PlayStation thing. Coming up soon,
PS Plus,
which is really, really cool. Yeah, PS Plus thing.
It fucking annoys the shit out. Just to take a brief detour away from Nintendo.
Sure.
We did that big thing about Game Pass, PS Plus, and subscriptions being like, are they really worth the money? Maybe not. And then like Game Pass is like, here's a bunch of games that are coming out on day one on release, and then even PS Plus is gone. Here's a bunch. Do you all listen to this podcast?
I think they do.
They must. They heard us complaining, and they just went, "Gotta shut these fuckers up."
Because like, thanks, but also you're making me look like an idiot.
But also, Sarah Bond, if you did hear us, then please come out and say some smart things and not some dumb things like you did.
Yeah, but Animal Well, like, I mean, we saw this on your couch. And we were both like, this looks fucking incredible. We're really excited to play this.
Up next, it's the Duck Detective, The Secret Salami. That's May 23rd, so coming up real quick.
I played this on the Steam Next Fest when we talked about Steam Next Fest a while ago. It's proper like Saturday morning cartoon. You play a duck. All of the characters are animals, but also it's like proper noir. And like the duck's voice is proper like grizzled, hard-boiled, like hard-boiled detective. And it was really entertaining demo. I really liked it.
Another Crab's Treasure, April 25th. So this is I want to say a Souls-like, but you're playing as a crab, and you can go around and collect various different treasure, like weapons, like forks and things, and they become your weapons, and cans become your hermit crab shell. And they provide you with different buffs. And then there's an accessibility feature in the game where you can just equip your crab with a gun and you can one-shot anybody you want. April 25th.
As far as like difficulty options go, like that's the best one I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's just
you get a gun.
It's like, turn on easy mode. Enemy damage slider or player damage slider. And this game's just like, here's a gun.
Yeah.
Have
fun. And it's comically oversized compared to the crab as well. The goddamn hand cannon. Yes, April 25th for that game. I have this on my Fantasy Critic and hoping that it does really, really well. And last but not least, a SteamWorld Heist 2 coming out August 8th.
Yeah, like the first one was like really, really good apparently. I never actually played it, but it's very acclaimed. So it was a surprise, like, because like the SteamWorld guys like always like mix up their genres, right? It's like the SteamWorld Heist, SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld Building one from last year. Yep, that was probably the title. The card one that I have on Switch, that was really good. I just don't remember the name.
SteamWorld Deck? Someone?
No, it's on my Switch.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like SteamWorld Heist, like cool. Like I might jump in and try it. Like everybody says the first one was really good, so. And the fact that it's just like, it's August 8th. That's what I like about these Nintendo Directs. They don't fuck around with like, here's a game, it's coming in 3 years. It's like, here's a game, we're getting it next week.
And I agree with that in terms of they'll set the stall out for, okay, this director is about Switch titles coming in the next 6 months. Then you know.
And then maybe like the last one will be like, a further away thing or something. It's just like, no, you know what you're getting, and when you're getting it, it's great.
And that, my friends, was the Indie World Showcase.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like,
yeah.
Maybe that's the secret ingredient to like PlayStation and Xbox need to follow, where it's just like, make it about games that are coming out in the next 6 months, guys.
Yeah.
Not the next 6 years.
Potentially, yeah.
Quick
Where
one.
would you like to go? Sure.
The quickest one of what's left. I don't know which one that is. Whichever one you think is the quickest one.
The quickest one is probably the Walking Dead one. Oh, no. Okay, go for it.
No. Fitz picked the Walking Dead one. Let's go to the Walking Dead one. The other two can be held till next week.
Okay.
Maybe.
We are we are taking up the time that Amy gave us to quickly go through a story. So this is why Eurogamer, the Walking Dead publisher Skybound, has plans for a new AAA Invincible game, and is now crowdfunding it to make it all happen. So this is it's a very weird situation where Skybound, who have the IP for Invincible to make their next video game on, instead of doing something smaller within their means, they're deciding, fuck it, AAA. We've got like a 30-person studio. Yes, it's filled with some industry vets, but veteran, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, can mean anything, and anybody who's survived more than 5 years in this godforsaken industry. So take that with what you will. But yeah,
3 years, baby. 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be a vet.
In 3 years, when he's going to be on this podcast, he's like Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes.
He's got the eye patch, the beard.
What do you have for lunch? I had a tree frog.
Yeah.
All I need is just be full on grey hair and everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, he broke his microphone.
They have a crowdfunding initiative at the moment where there's a $100 minimum investment, and as of the time of recording, they have just shy of $450,000 US dollars. But yeah, I just thought it was a weird thing where Skybound are kind of looking to shoot outside of their means with this one, in terms of, regardless of how much money they raise, it's not going to be enough to obviously fully fund a game. It might be enough to build a proof of concept. Amy's holding up a visual cue for red flags all over the shop. Many red flags.
Red flags.
Yeah. So it might be enough for you to build a prototype as a proof of concept, which then you will ship around to publishers and whatnot. But I think it's this has got vaporware written all over it.
I don't know if it's got vaporware written all over it, but it certainly is a series of red flags.
Yes.
It's no doubt about it. I don't get, this is just a me thing. I don't get the hype over the Invincible show. I've watched the first season. I have enjoyed it, but it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. I haven't touched the second season, so I can't comment on the second season or anything like that. But if everyone makes this out to be like the second coming of Jesus, basically, when it comes to just other quality entertainment and everything, and I'm not saying it isn't quality. Like I said, I have enjoyed it, but it's like, I feel like that for them to say that they're going for crowdfunding and they're saying this is a AAA game, no big company, for me, no big company's like, yeah, we're not giving you that money on a no offense, non-proven franchise. Invincible maybe getting a lot of love with the animated series and everything from Amazon and whatnot. But no offense, guys, the show looks very low fucking budget all the time. Amazon ain't putting as much money as you think they want on this and whatnot. So it's like, if no big company's biting on to say, yo, we will fund you type of thing, no one has any faith in this game, especially if they're going to the fans. And if they've only made that much money for this, that just shows you how much real interest in this game in this franchise that there is. No offense to it or anything like that. I don't mean it nastily. If you're loving the series and everything, that's fantastic. I'll always champion that. But hype can get really... the hype can really be overhyped sometimes, and this just like what Amy, like you guys were saying, this is nothing but red flags to me of just like no big company has any interest in this whatsoever. They ain't gonna bite on it because they like if you can't already fund it with millions, they ain't gonna give you that extra. So yeah, for me, this is it. This is dead on the rise.
There's an upper limit to crowd. I mean, we're well beyond the days of like millions of dollars being crowdfunded for like games at this point. And this will, I'm sure, this will raise a ton of money. But like,
if it was an indie game, I would understand.
Yeah,
when they're saying AAA.
Yeah,
that's like telling everything, saying no one's going to touch this.
When Tim Schafer raised a few $1 million to make Broken Age, like Broken Age was a small game. Like you're talking about making a AAA game on crowdfunding money. It's not happening.
Yeah,
it's not happening. Like there's not even wiggle room where it's like, well, maybe if they do this and do that and do this, it's like you've got 30 employees. That's going to cost a lot of money right up front just for 1 year to pay them, salary, benefits, all that other stuff. And it's like, and then you've got to make a game with money as well. It's like, it's not happening, bro. Not with crowdfunding money. Also, the weird thing that happened there was I put my hand on my pillow and I found a washing peg in it. So that happened.
Yeah, take that, Omen, for what it's worth.
I've been sleeping on that for a week. Great. So yeah, like red flags all around. It's like, I don't understand what's happening here. And like, it's like, oh, they published The Walking Dead. And it's like, yes, they did. All of them. Not just the one that everybody likes. All of the other Walking Dead games as well. Including the ones people don't like.
Yeah, I think that was the implication. We got that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd just push it over the line.
No, I appreciate you and all you
Look, I hope this does well. I hope they get money. I hope they make an amazing game. And people who like Invincible love the game, and it's great. But, I mean, a 30-person team can't make a AAA game, and a crowdfunding campaign can't fund a AAA game. So,
yeah,
I'm confused on what they're trying to accomplish here. That was my whole point. Sorry, I was expecting somebody to pick that up there, and then it just became like an awkward silence.
No, I was looking up. So the most successful crowdfunding thing that I'm aware of is when Critical Role announced they were going to do the Legends of Vox Machina Origins and the Legend of Vox Machina animated series, which went to Amazon, and they raised $11.3 million. And it was one of these where, obviously, the Critical Role fan base is one of the most fervent and dedicated fan bases that I am aware of, and it's one of those where they were able to raise that kind of money. And I'm not aware of how much it costs to make an animated series, but that would go a healthy way towards it, I would imagine. But when you're talking about a AAA experience, and we're hearing stories from an Insomniac saying they spent allegedly $330 million on a Spider-Man 2. And we're talking about superhero IP here. So when you're saying superhero game and AAA, your expectation is a Spider-Man 2 quality esque experience. And it's one of these where even if they get up to 11 million, that's still not going to cut it. So it's one of these where, as we labored the point kind of thing, they're going to have to shop this around some. And who's going to take a gamble on this where... there's plenty of red flags to go around.
Yeah. Let's move on to the closer. Sorry, I was laughing.
Hell yeah.
Who updated the score?
I did.
Okay. I was like, I didn't say that before. Let's play OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game.
It's still current.
Okay. This is I was technically correct. This is the game we play every week where I try to guess the OpenCritic average for upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. But really, it's just an excuse to talk about video games. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Harold Halibut. And for the score, which I don't know if Moody actually saw, but Vitz must have saw because he changed it. I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't be bothered to open OpenCritic, and I just wrote, it's 70-something. It's close enough.
I saw it.
But I guessed Moody guessed we're getting 85, Vitz guessed we're getting 86, and I guessed we're getting 89. At the time of recording, Harold Halibut has an open critic average of 74.
Yeah.
Haters, all of you.
Yes.
I don't care. But yeah, it's 74.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about
So
fantasy
GG's
critic
Moody.
anymore.
As we all know, as we've established, I only score points when it's in groups of 2. So it's just enough week for me.
Doubles. That's it.
Yeah.
He's going to get all these next ones, 10 points. Boom, he's back in it.
Mm-hmm.
He could do that, and Moody would still be in the lead.
You sure would.
I could do that, and Moody would still be in the lead.
By 1 point.
But yeah, that keeps the scores at Amy 7, Moody 18, Fitz 4, 3 draws. Is anyone going to play this?
I am not.
Harold Halibut. Not
it's on
Critic.
Xbox, isn't it?
It is on Game Pass.
It's available on Game Pass, yes.
On Game Pass. I'm not 100% yet.
I
Are
broke
you?
the washing peg.
Oi.
Yeah,
Because you were
probably at some point.
disappointed in our answers.
Damn you, reviewers!
Yeah.
No, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of doing a thing at the minute. There's something I need to get done. So I'm trying to do that right now.
You're not tidying someone else's room, are you?
No. Video game related, not tidying related. So I don't know, like, and at the minute I've got other games that I want to play and I've been putting them off for a while. So it's like, Harold Halibut might go on the back burner, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll play it when, like, later in the year. And I am really excited to play it at some point, but it is one of those things where it's like, I know what happens to 65% of the games that I put on the back burner.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be realistic with myself. My intention is to play it at some point in the future. But maybe not even this year. We'll see what happens. Anyway, this week we got 5 games to talk about.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games, baby. So we'll do them. Let's do that. So the first game we're going to guess the open critic average of is Yuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Or Suikoden 6.
Yes.
As long as you're not Konami. You didn't hear that. Yeah, it's a JRPG tactics kind of experience coming from a lot of the people that made the Suikoden series, last seen a bazillion years ago, before Konami stopped publishing games, more or less. What was that I said in the credits video? They collapse as a serious game publisher.
Yes.
And so this is coming out. Also in Game Pass. And
It's Amy to go first.
I put myself first this week. I'm going to guess 76.
Nice. So it's me to go next.
It is.
I would like to go for a... So I have this on my Fantasy Critic League.
Sure do.
I would like to go for a 80, please.
8, 0.
The eyes of the world fall to Moody. No messing.
75. Scott Moody coming in at 75. I don't really have a lot to say about this, so let's just move on.
Yeah.
Tales of Kenzara Zao. This is the Metroidvania, I believe.
Yep.
By the studio for that one actor who was in that one game.
Yeah. Abu Salim Kalam, I want to say. Let me double check that.
I am serious about my video game knowledge. That studio with that guy and that thing.
Abu Bakar Salim.
Thank you.
Absi Babsi.
Assassin's Creed
over
Origins.
on Twitter. That was the one.
That was the game he was in. Yes. This, and it's also launching in PS Plus Tier 2.
Yeah. Extra, I want to say.
Extra. Why do you think? Why are both the first 2 tiers start with letter E? That's what always trips me up.
Why is there tiers to begin with? Just
like,
make
so
it one.
I've bought this game. I went out and just went, I'm just going to pay that £4 extra and just get it outright. I was like, why the hell not? It's just £4 extra. Instead of getting the service that I will probably be cancelling later, type of thing for the next month or whatnot. So yeah, We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
What
yeah. It's like if I'm gonna play this on Animal Well, I might subscribe to PS Plus. But if it's just Animal Well, I'll probably just buy Animal Well.
Yeah,
I'm
the same as well.
78.
Ooh. Okay. I think that's strong. I think this is going to get an... I'm going to go 80 again. I think this game has a lot of juice behind it for the people who have gone through previous cycles and whatnot. They compare it favorably to Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And I think this, with obviously the emotional tale of the inspiration of this game being the passing of Abu's father and all the rest of it, I think this has got the juice. So I would like to go for an 80.
Oh, yeah. What you got, Moody?
You need this extra 0 on Vista's score.
No. That would be 800.
Let me refresh the thing.
That's 8 for me. It says 8 for me.
Yeah, let's just refresh. I'm sure it's there. Moody, what would you like to go for score-wise?
Optimistic. I think it's going to get 800
That's how I get the points, right?
Depends what I'm going for. Vits, no, I'm kind of with you on that as well. I was going to go in the 80s as well. I'm going to go, just to be a little bit more spicy, I'm going to go in 82.
Everything you said about this game, I agree with. But trust with video game reviewers, broken.
Yes.
Over these last few weeks, it's like, no, I don't trust you anymore. Been burned too many times.
Or to enjoy a game, or
yes,
that you haven't played.
To enjoy a game. I don't think there's some reviewers out on OpenCritic who just don't seem to like video games at this point.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
This is all in jest, by the
way. Next up, Saga Emerald Beyond.
Oh yeah. JRPG in a long-running series of JRPGs I've never played. That keep getting remastered. Those are Moody's thoughts.
Sorry. Sorry. I thought I was muted there. I apologize for that.
73.
I would like to go for a 75, please.
It's just going for a 75. Is that 5?
76.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
God. So the next game we're going to try and guess is Stellar Blade.
Oh, God.
Booty game. The booty game. The people who are complaining.
It's the jiggle game. There's more than the booties that go.
Yeah.
I can't take this game seriously anymore. Like, everything that's happened around the game.
Yeah.
It's just like, at some point, I remember being like, hey, this looks good. I might try and pick it up. And now I'm just like, what even the fuck is this game? Like, I saw the fucking song that Gamergator wrote. Listened to the whole fucking thing. It's terrible. But, like, in that way where it's really funny because it's so embarrassing for the person that wrote it. And then, like, there's the whole culture war thing. And it's just like, good God. I don't know anymore. And now you're asking me to fucking try and figure out.
Put yourself first.
try and figure out what like game critics are gonna think of it. It's like, bitch, I don't even know what this fucking thing is anymore. Someone's gonna have to do it. So why it not be me? 69.
Nice.
I'm putting the cherry on top of this ridiculous
there
Sunday.
There you go. I think this game is going to get a 78, please.
Yeah, my serious guess would have been a lot higher, but somebody's got to guess 69. Like, in the saga of Stellar Blade, someone had to do it.
79.
And the last game we're going to guess the OpenCritic averages of is Sandland.
Yeah.
Why'd I put myself first this week?
This is an interesting one, Sandland.
Yeah, this is Toriyama-san's inspired art.
Does anyone know what kind of game it is? Real quick.
It's a fighting game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That helps. Not really, but, now I know more than I did 10 seconds ago.
There you go.
Sandland. I am going to guess it is going to get 74. Seems reasonable.
I think this is 70, please. I think it's going to be a little bit lower.
And Moody. Sandland. We were just talking about sand before. About how it's rough, it's coarse, it gets everywhere.
Gets everywhere.
I think the critics are going to be a little bit more kinder on this game towards Toriyama. Not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing or anything like that.
I don't think it's an objective thing.
Well, see,
put it that way.
Well, I would have I thought that, but then I remembered when everybody was talking shit on Suicide Squad with Kevin Conroy, the whole I can't believe they made this his last appearance. What disrespectful! And it was like developers coming out going, "What the fuck you talking?" So I kind of pushed that game critics being higher on it because they're being respectful to Toriyama.
75.
It's been a weird year.
Ain't that the truth?
In video game world, like I think at the end of this year, I'm going to click on all of our podcasts and I'm just going to look at those timestamps and just look at all of the things that we talked about and just and we'll see if my sanity survives that. It's been weird.
Yeah.
It's been a week. It's been a year, so
it's been a weird year. Like not even necessarily like bad weird, just like weird.
Oh, close to World War III, nuclear explosions. Who knows how bad a year could be?
Yeah, World War III's been trending for ever since Donald Trump was first elected president.
Yeah, there was that, wasn't there?
Yeah. So on that note, on that amazing note,
quickly, just before we throw to Moody for an outro, we're going to be doing some amazing things over the next couple of weeks with our charity fundraiser stream that we mentioned at the top of the podcast. So be sure to follow Words About Games on Twitter and Words About Games UK on YouTube. For everything that goes down on Twitter, we'll be archiving over on our YouTube channels. Be sure to follow all of us on socials to keep up to date with all of our fundraising shenanigans and activities and what we're going to be doing first. So, we would love for you to come along this journey on fundraising and come along and enjoy some amazing streams.
Fresh along. They have to be amazing now.
Yep.
Links in the description. Click it. Hit the donate button, and we'll do weird shit for your entertainment. It gets progressively weird the more money we make. Moody.
Hear me.
On that note, would you like to sign us out?
I can do that. What up, everybody? You made it. Another day is behind you. Another week has passed. We are all proud of you. You are truly special. You deserve the absolute best. You are truly good enough. You're doing great. We believe in you. Live long and prosper. High five the sky. And as always, fuck the Tories.
Don't break your washing pegs. Yeah.
That's true.
Or sleep with them.
Or sleep with them in your pillow, apparently.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.